I love the way the First Gen Lounge makes me feel.
Because it creates a space where I belong.
Where we're able to create community.
The fact that it's a community.
It's a safe place.
It also gives me a place to understand different perspectives.
The stories of these individuals prescribe transformational perspective.
I receive encouragement, enlightenment, empowerment.
And also serve as a catalyst to just keep going.
Where we're able to be our true selves.
I'm allowed to be an unapologetic first gen.
And above all else, tell our story.
And every episode is unique.
I love it.
I'm your host, Dr. Eve, and I'd like to welcome you to the First Gen Lounge. So, hey you, welcome. And if it's your first time, welcome back. Whatever you're doing, glad that you're here. I am in a place, in a space where I'm going to be a bit more vulnerable with the next few shows that are coming up, mostly because I think that it's a season to really be more transparent. If it is truly my intention to help you continue to grow in your space and in your life and become who you know you are destined to be. I have faced many failures over the course of my life, and I want to say maybe even like 2019 in particular, beyond all of the great success that everybody could see on social media, was dealing with a lot of personal failures within my own self and in life and stuff like that. That really has just had me saying and thinking, why not talk more about failure? I've talked about rejection. I've talked about when your business doesn't work out. And it's not because I'm trying to put myself out there and be like, oh, be all of my business. But it's really contingent on the fact that I want us to be able to talk about things that we're not just talking about willy-nilly. Like, I don't want every conversation to have to be everything is great and just live your best life. A part of living your best life, a part of being your authentic self is being honest with yourself. And it's about facing not only the light in your life, but the shadows. So, we're going to talk about failure today. And I want to share with you 5 ways to face failure. So while it's not necessarily the happiest of topics to talk about, because who likes to fail, right? None of us like to fail. It's still a necessary conversation for us to have. None of us, like I said, are excused for failure. Or better, we're not excused for missing the mark on something that we thought that we'd obtain. Because what we're taught is that we're supposed to, set these goals, make them smart, achieve these goals. But what happens when you don't? Like, that ends up being failure. But the problem with failure, more than having failed itself, is the fact that we tend to get stuck in failure, and that keeps us from moving on. It keeps us from moving ahead. It keeps us from thinking bigger and better and greater. We just like to wallow in the failure. While it is early in the year, I think that it's important for us to talk about failure, especially now, because there are going to be things that happen throughout this year at times that are not going to be what you hope for. And I want you to be able to have something to gain perspective or reframe your thinking and not wait till after all the mess has happened, everything has gone down, to be like, oh yeah, let's talk about it now. Like, let's be proactive in thinking about how we're going to move forward in the conversation. It's even likely that you set some goals and you've already, for lack of better words, messed up, or you've already failed and you're already beating yourself up about that. I don't want that for you. So for starters, it is okay that you don't always get things right. I think it's important for me to tell you that, and it's important for you to believe it, because admittedly, I have wasted too much of time and life staying stuck in things that I didn't get right. So my hope for you was that you don't get caught up in your thoughts or the moments that have long gone, and then you miss opportunities that are to come because you have deemed yourself as a failure in whatever that thing is. So 5 ways to face failure. I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. Number 1, understand that what happened was supposed to happen. Oh, that's cliche, but it's for real. Like, whatever happened is supposed to happen. It's a part of your journey of life. Everything that you experience adds to your story, and it shapes you into who you're supposed to be. So you can look at failure as something that's bad because it didn't work out, or you can look at failure as something good because things didn't work out, but it made room for something else. But either way, how you choose to view failure, know that it happened because it was supposed to happen, and it was supposed to shape you, and you're supposed to take from that and learn to move forward and know that it's just a part of the experience of life. Number 2, give yourself room to feel how you feel about what you're feeling. Like, feel how you feel. It's totally cool. Like, don't rush yourself to get over it. If something went south because a relationship, business, school, a trip, weight loss, whatever it may be, you were pursuing that thing or those things because it meant something to you. So if you feel some kind of way about it not working out as you'd hoped, you're validated in how you feel because it mattered. The important thing is that you don't stay stuck in your feelings for too long. So you may be like, well, how long is too long? I usually gauge too long being too long when I'm actually sick of thinking about and or talking about a situation my damn self. So if you find that you don't even want to talk to your friends about it because you're like, yeah, this old, I can't believe I'm bringing this up again, that may be a sign that it's time for you to like truly move on. And the thing is like, well, if I'm stuck and I don't know how to move on, what do I do? If my friends aren't even helping, what do I do? There's a reason why there are people who are experts in mental health and emotional wellness. And I would suggest to you honestly considering going to talk to somebody who's professional to help you figure out the more deeply rooted situation that's keeping you from being able to move on if it's just too long and you just know it's too long. Like, I still have a few things in my life, honestly, that I'm like, I'm not even going to bring that up because I don't want to go through it again. But it's realizing that and talking to my therapist, we'll work through it. And I know that I will be okay. Number 3, be honest about whatever didn't work out in the first place. And you may be like, oh, be honest. What you mean be honest about it? You know, cause it just didn't work out. Well, there is, in my opinion, and again, my opinion, I'm just helping, here to give you some of my thoughts and my feelings about facing failure. But a lot of times there's something that we could have done better or we weren't more honest about in a situation. That is why it probably failed in the first place. So like, where did you go wrong? Or what could you have done better? Or better yet, what didn't you identify about a situation before having gotten into it that maybe you didn't even trust your gut on something? And being honest about, what it was with that other thing or person that just didn't make it right. So maybe not even that you didn't necessarily do all the wrong. Not you saying that you're the blame, but looking at situations that you may be in and being honest or just period about this thing did not work out because, and not having to glamorize things as we sometimes do and only thinking that they were only supposed to work out. So like, if weight loss is the issue, were you really sticking to your weight loss plan? Did you really have a plan in the first place? And did you even really try to work out? If it is a relationship, were you really trying to communicate with your partner? Or better, did you not pay attention to some of the signs early on in the relationship or the situationship, whatever it may have been? Or did you not pay attention to some of the interactions or things that they were doing that let you know that it wasn't right? Or did you not listen to your mom or dad and it was like, no, they're not good for you? Now, granted, I understand that we don't listen to people at times when they be like, that person's not good for you because we want to do our own thing. But is that an honest thing that maybe we didn't really keep ourselves open to what the truth may have been because we were so vulnerable? Or if you're building a business, like, do you really have a plan in place? Or did you just think that magic was going to happen? Like they say, if you build it, they will come. If you build it, they will come, ... But you got to put in the work and you got to have a plan. You got to have a strategy to know what that thing is going to look like. So were you honest with yourself or did you glamorize it as well? If you're taking a trip, for those of you who love to travel, and I love to travel, were you really realistic about your budget? And going on that trip was just something that you shouldn't have done because when you got there, you couldn't enjoy it. Like, did you think, oh, I'm going to get to Jamaica. But when I get to Jamaica, I'm not going to have anything to do. Like, if you're planning a trip, you have to look at all parts of it. And if it really been honest, could you have stayed at a different resort or could you have done a cruise rather than trying to fly into a resort? Like, are there things you could have done different? That's the reason it didn't work out. So being honest with yourself is a third way to face failure in your life. And then number 4 really flows into the being honest with yourself because you really have to take time to figure out what there is to learn from the situation. So beyond the situation that has actually happened where you feel like that you have failed, what are the things, both good and not so good, that you're supposed to take away from the situation? I think one of the best questions to ask yourself is, how can I grow from this? So beyond being honest with yourself, that's one thing, but what's the truth if you don't take action? So in being able to take the time to figure out what you're supposed to learn is about that taking action. And that is, well, if you, for some reason, didn't do well in school for a semester, be it that you are undergraduate or graduate student, is that because like you really played around, or were you hanging out with the wrong crowd? If that's so, how can you set better boundaries and be more intentional about going forward? What do you need to do to be more disciplined? Like, is that what you were supposed to learn? And if so, what is now the thing that you're going to do differently? Or let's just say you're in a job or a position that you're just like, yo, I just got this weak ass performance review at work and I'm not even feeling it and I don't even like my supervisor no way, and you're going on and on and on. But like, does that review reflect your seriousness about your job, depending on what areas you were critiqued in? And while you're probably feeling bad and feel like a failure, like, what does it really say about who you are in that position? Is it even something that's here to show you or there to show you that maybe that job isn't a good match for you? It's not a good fit for you. And what's required for you to be successful in such a role? I have been honest with you all, and I'll just reiterate that I was changing jobs like almost every year. And people could not understand why in the world that I keep bouncing around. Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? And the only thing I could think was like, at this point, it's got to be me that these jobs are not working out. And that was true. It was me. But I had to say in that moment, what was it about me or being in these roles that wasn't working? And how then can I go ahead and figure out what I'm going to do differently so I can stop wasting people's time and money and energy, theirs and mine. And so when you take time to really think about what you learn, you can get clarity about how you want to move forward. But I would say being honest, again, number 3, and then figuring out what you're supposed to learn, number 4, will really help empower you to move into what is now number 5, and that is try again. What the hell? Try again? Yes. Try again, and try again, and try again. Like, don't quit, try again. Like, if you really believe in what you're after, you've got to brush yourself off and try again. It's the only way that you're going to rebuild confidence in your life, in that area of your life, especially. If that relationship failed and you want to be cold-hearted, you're not making room for the person who's really supposed to love you, who you're really supposed to be with. Had I let every failed situationship that I had before meeting my husband stand in the way, I wouldn't be married and I wouldn't know what real love feels like. So I had to risk being hurt again in order for me to understand that true love was really there. Like, everything you do beyond the matter of the heart is taking a risk of failing again, but it's trying again that you win. Try again and win. There it is. So even thinking about, what things look like, if you have failed and you understand that things happen for a reason, if you're honest with yourself about what's happened, if you don't rush yourself to get through it and you take time to figure out what you're supposed to learn, then when you try again, you're better equipped to walk into the situation because of the past experience that you've had. That's why I say everything happens for a reason, because again, you learn, and by learning, you can apply what you've learned to the situation coming up. And in being honest with yourself, again, if it's a relationship, was it you that really had the communication issue? Were you the one really not trying to be open? Or if it's business, did you really, not think through how much money you were going to need in your marketing budget? Did you really need more? Or are you going to need more than what you have? Did you get in over your head? Or did you think that you were going to step onto the scene being brand of the year when you really needed to build your team out first? Like, what does that look like for you in terms of trying again? But you got to try again if you want to feel better about that thing. People talk about Michael Jordan, how many times he didn't do well in basketball, or J.K. Rowling, who had so many objections with her book, with Harry Potter, or thinking about, who made the light bulb? I'm having a blank moment right now, but how many times did he try to invent that light bulb and just failed again? But again, he tried again. So every person who believed in what they were doing, they tried. And the outcome is that in the end, they ended up winning. So again, 5 ways for you to face failure, because I don't want you to be stuck in your life thinking that you can't do more or have more or be more because of the few things that haven't worked out. When it doesn't work out, it's just giving you the way that it's not going to work so you can find the ways that things will work. I think somebody has said that in the quote somewhere, but I don't know who, but I'm not trying to bite off of them, but hey, it is what it is. So 5 ways to face failure. 1, understand that what happened was supposed to happen. 2, give yourself room to feel how you feel about what you're feeling. 3, be honest about why it didn't work out in the first place. 4, always take time to figure out what there is to learn because of the situation. And 5, try again. So as you're moving through this year and you find yourself disappointed sometimes when things just haven't worked out, remember that you've got this and everything will work itself out for you. I want to thank you for spending time with me on today. Know that I appreciate you being in this space where we are thriving and striving and grinding and hustling and all that. But on that note, don't forget to check out the show's description so that you can access the session notes where you can, get links to join the First Gen Lounge family, or even get your free download of 27 Moments of Reflection. If you are a college student, that would be great for you. But again, if this was really good session to you, then I would really love for you to take and share with a friend or 2. Let them know we out here and we having real talk in the First Gen Lounge. But until the next time, I want you to be good to yourself. I want you to know that I love you, I adore you, and that you matter. And more than anything, keep pressing forward in all that you do. Peace.